How you doing? It's Sunday, February 20th, 2022. I'm Lights Camera Jackson, and welcome to LCJ Live. I got my cool shades on. Thank you to Nickelodeon and Big Nate for these. These are cool. I may keep these on most of the show. Happy President's Day weekend. Hope you're doing well. Maybe you went to the movies. A heck of a lot of people have gone to the movies over the past 3 days. You know, I sort of sensed it the other day when I went to the theater to see Uncharted, and I saw a lot of seniors for Dog. I saw a lot of kids for Uncharted, and I thought to myself, gosh, all these families and all these older people going to the movies, these films are going to do really well. And they have. Uncharted, $44.2 million for the 3-day, technically a 3.5 day since it started Thursday at 4. Dog, $15.1 million, coming off of the last Monday Valentine's evening preview showings, plus Thursday 4 p.m. on to today. And for the long President's Day weekend, Uncharted looking at $51 million and Dog looking at $18. I think it could do even more than that because kids are off from school for the week. And so families, parents need something to take the kids to. And even though Uncharted and Dog are both rated PG-13, Uncharted's got some adult language and some action violence. Dog has some adult language and some situations that I don't think young kids should be exposed to. Nevertheless, parents are taking kids to a movie called Dog and the latest film with the guy who plays Spider-Man, that the kids maybe saw him in Spider-Man. So that's why, one of the reasons why, these movies have done very well so far. $60 million combined for the 3-day, $70 million combined for the 4-day is a huge boost to the box office. Congratulations, though I am not a huge fan of either film, Uncharted and Dog leading the way. $70 million combined over the President's Day weekend is fantastic. And don't be surprised, maybe not a sequel to Dog, unless they come up with a new story and Channing Tatum wants to do it. This was such a passion project for him. But don't be surprised if they announce a sequel to Uncharted pretty soon. Death on the Nile, $6.3 million. It's at 25. Spider-Man, still doing really well. It's at $770 million total and $7.2 million this weekend. If you're just joining us here, these are my cool Big Nate sunglasses. Shout out to Nickelodeon and Big Nate, which is now on Paramount+. Spider-Man didn't drop at all this weekend. It stayed at $7.2 million from last weekend, actually increasing a spot at the box office. Jackass Forever, $5.2 million. It's at 47. And Marry Me down to $3.7 million. It's at 16.8. Marry Me's budget of 23. Universal will give it a shot at crossing 20. I think it'll do that. May not, though, get to that $23 million mark. It is also streaming on Peacock. $2.8 million for Sing 2. It is at about $148 million, something like that. Universal will be happy when that goes over $150 this week. Really not far off from what Secret Life of Pets 2 and How to Train Your Dragon 3 did for Universal back in 2019. Scream with another $2 million. It's at 77. Blacklight, the Liam Neeson movie, $1.9 million this weekend. It's at 7.2. And rounding out your top 10 is the new horror film, The Cursed, which my Too Fast, Two Films co-host Mike Sargent saw. He reviews it on this week's new episode, which will be up soon at toofast2films.com. He reviews The Cursed, and we both review double Oscar nominee, The Worst Person in the World. As I mentioned, it being President's Day tomorrow, the presidential seals are right here. Got 2 of them, along with my Pez collection of nearly every president. They haven't done Pez's for the last 2 presidents. Maybe they'll catch up on that pretty soon to really round out the collection there. A lot of other new movies are available at home this weekend, including the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot on Netflix. Did you see that? Got a lot of people joining us here on LCJ Live. I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Didn't love it. Elsie Fisher's good in it, but it's really mindless and deliberate and a tired story and a very short film as well. You look swagged out. Love the Pez joke on your Insta. Thank you so much. Yes, Elvez, because the new Elvis trailer came out. And as I mentioned the other day, Tom Hanks going to go for Best Actor for A Man Called Otto and Best Supporting Actor for Elvis next award season, as Elvis comes out in June and A Man Called Otto will be out in theaters on Christmas Day. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre is on Netflix. The Last Bus with Timothy Spall. Didn't love that movie. That is available at home on digital platforms. And this week, wow, Medea's back. Tyler Perry brought her back from the dead after a Madea family funeral, though, to be clear, Madea did not die in a Madea family funeral. Madea is back. Madea Homecoming is on Netflix this Friday, February 25th. Looking forward to checking that out. In the theaters this weekend, coming up, Cyrano, finally. What took you so long, MGM? Wow, you finally put it in and out. It's up for Best Costume Design at the Oscars. Also, Peter Dinklage nominated for Best Actor for the Critics' Choice Award for his performance in Cyrano. That is out this week. Also, No Exit, which I have seen. That's on Hulu. It's an action thriller. Dennis Haysbert is in it. Don't know much about it going in. I would avoid most of the promos, trailers, posters, everything. Avoid most of it if you want to be surprised genuinely by what happens in No Exit. Also this week, the Foo Fighters movie, horror film, Studio 666. That's going to be in theaters along with Cyrano. Neither film will take down Uncharted. Uncharted will be your winner again next weekend, probably with around 25, maybe $27 million, because kids will still be off of school. So Uncharted will be number one again. But we'll see how much money Cyrano and Studio 666 make in the theaters. Also in the theaters this week, the Oscar-nominated short films. The live-action ones, the documentary ones, and the animated short films. Check your local theater listings. Hopefully they are playing at a theater near you. Be advised with the animated shorts this year that 4 out of the 5 are not for kids. So they are advising that parents do not take the kids to this year's Oscar-nominated animated shorts presentation. If you want to watch something with the family, the one nominee, Robin, is on Netflix. It's a half an hour. It's from Aardman, and it's a lot of fun and very sweet. The others they're all very good, but they are for adults because of the subject matter and the material in it and the themes. A lot about relationships and a little bit of violence, some romance elements. So yeah, that's why they are advising this year. But hopefully you'll be able to check out the Oscar-nominated animated shorts in the theaters. Always cool to check those out every year before the Oscars on March the 27th. So that's in theaters. Next Sunday, of course, is the Screen Actors Guild Awards, which will be at the Barker Hangar in Santa Monica, the former home of the Critics' Choice Awards. Many years I was at the Critics' Choice Awards at the Barker Hangar every year but one that I've been to the Critics' Choice. The other one was at the Hollywood Palladium. And tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, it's the 2022 LCJ Movie Awards. Going to be a lot of fun. Got some big surprises. So tune in across the social media platforms. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific today for the 2022 LCJ Movie Awards. The big winners of the year in motion pictures and more. Can't wait, says Shellfish Beach. Thank you so much. Yes, so a lot going on in the entertainment world. What have you seen? Did you see Uncharted? Here's what I didn't like about Uncharted. Number 1, it's basic. Number 2, it's not fun enough. Number 3, the chemistry. As I wrote in my review of Uncharted, which you can go to lights-camera-jackson.com for, Mark Wahlberg has had better chemistry with Will Ferrell, Rose Byrne, and maybe most of all, Ted the Bear. His chemistry with Tom Holland in this, it's not organic, it's not authentic, and that's one of the problems with Uncharted. Also, Antonio Banderas, who I think is a fine actor. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If it wasn't Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, I truly believe he would have won the Oscar for Pain and Glory. But this is a thankless villain-ish role in Uncharted. And Dog, the thing about Dog, which I like a little more than Uncharted if I had to pick one over the other, the thing about Dog is it does try to say something about war and coming home and dealing with all of that. But so many far-fetched subplots really get in the way. It goes to absolute extremes in places, coming up with all these ideas of where Channing Tatum and the dog have to go that just do not work. They don't work at all. And that's too bad, because there are a few moments in Dog that are pretty good. There's one key moment where involving Tatum's character and a lawyer, and there's a certain situation, and it's well shot. Tatum does a fine acting job in that moment, but there are not too many more of those kind of unique, different moments than we get in a very typical road buddy movie in Dog. So, not a huge fan of that. I do like Death on the Nile for the most part once you get into the murder mystery aspect of it. Marry Me, first hour-ish is tolerable, and then it goes completely off the rails. Blacklight, a very average, standard Liam Neeson action movie. And Moonfall, which dropped out of the top 10 this weekend after just 2 weekends. Moonfall only made $1 million this weekend, about 2.8 last weekend, and it opened to 10. Moonfall quickly fell off the face of the earth. People are wondering how I can see out of these things. I can. These are my Big Nate sunglasses from Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus. A lot of new animated series that are out this week. Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, premieres this Wednesday, February 23rd on Disney Plus. I talked with the creators, Bruce W. Smith and Ralph Farquhar. That is at lcj.podbean.com if you want to check out that LCJ Q&A. Also there, new episodes with the Big Nate makers, as well as the makers of the Cuphead show, which just premiered the other day on Netflix. If you've heard about the popular Cuphead game, they made an animated series, a very old-timey feel with the characters and that throwback to the nostalgia of the Fleischer cartoons and MGM, Warner Brothers, Disney, that whole vibe with the Cuphead show. So those three new LCJ Q&A podcast episodes are available at lcj.podbean.com as well as lights-camera-jackson.com. What are you looking forward to seeing this week? Is it Madea? It's been 3 years since a Madea family funeral. That was actually not the last Madea movie that Tyler Perry filmed. He filmed Boo! A Madea Halloween, which, if you remember, was first a farce concept in Chris Rock's movie Top 5. And then that was such a success that Lionsgate said, you have to do a sequel to Boo! A Madea Halloween. So Tyler Perry filmed Madea Family Funeral. Then he immediately filmed Boo! 2! A Madea Halloween, which came out October of 2017. And then they waited to release A Madea Family Funeral until March 2019. So that's how the timeline sort of went. But now here we are 3 years later after that release, and he decided to bring back Madea for some humor, for some positivity and some joy. And that is on Netflix this Friday. I've got a new piece on Tyler Perry and what he's done in between these two Madea movies, which includes winning an Oscar, winning an Emmy, honorary awards for all the great work he has done, along with some other acting roles and some humanitarian work. So you can check out that piece at lights-camera-jackson.com. People talking about favorite video game adaptations. A lot of video game movies haven't quite worked over the years, but one franchise that seems to be going strong besides Uncharted is Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog, which opened in February 2020, did very well for Paramount. They ordered a sequel. The sequel is on the way. It's April 8th for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And with all the big announcements Paramount made the other day, one of them being Sonic 3, already in the works. So we know that Paramount clearly has confidence in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, knows that it's going to do well, likes the film, and wants to continue this saga. No specific word yet on if James Marsden or Jim Carrey will return for a third one, but I suspect they will. And interesting that Paramount is releasing Sonic 2 when they are, because they're opening it on April 8, and then just 2 weeks later, April 22, DreamWorks is releasing the animated film The Bad Guys. So I know that we had this February break for kids, and these movies are doing well, and now we're looking towards April, and Paramount and Universal want to be the ones that own that period of time with these two family films. But we've got this hole for families now. And I've been saying it for weeks, because Turning Red is now just a Disney Plus release. We have this hole for major family films in theaters until Sonic comes out April 8th. That's why Sing 2 is still making money. And Spider-Man and Uncharted and Dog, which are PG-13, but being extended to being family films simply because there's no other options. That's interestingly why Amazon, as I just found out this morning, Amazon is going to put Hotel Transylvania Transformania into select theaters starting Thursday, including at Cinemark locations. I think a few other chains are going to pick it up. No word yet on if other chains like Regal, AMC, and Landmark and some others are doing it, but definitely Cinemark is putting Hotel Transylvania Transformania in theaters. If you remember, this was supposed to be in theaters on multiple times from Sony, including the summer of 2021, and they pushed it and they pushed it. Could have been in October, and they decided, you know what, we're going to give it to Prime for about $100 million, and it debuted on Prime Video on January 14th. But look, kids want to get out of the house, and they are comfortable and safe enough, and parents are too, to go to the movies right now, to the theaters. So Cinemark offering the new Transylvania. We'll see if Amazon reports box office grosses for that next week. Obviously, it's not going to be number one, but we'll see how it does. How many families who don't have Prime haven't seen it yet and feel like, yeah, let's go see the new Transylvania movie. It could do okay in the select theaters that it's in. It absolutely can. So we will see what happens there. I watched Transylvania Transformania back, was like 2 nights before Thanksgiving. So it's been months since I've seen Transylvania, but now some families may be able to check it out. It's the zany, wacky, crazy fun and some emotion towards the end that you've come to expect from the Hotel Transylvania franchise. So there we go, interesting times. And then, of course, we're just a couple weeks away. Well, technically, they're starting preview showings on Tuesday, March 1 for The Batman. So we're just about 9 days away from Robert Pattinson's new Batman being unleashed upon the world. How much money will it make? I believe the opening weekend will be somewhere in between the $90 million of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and the $253 million of Spider-Man No Way Home. I will be surprised if it does more than 200. I just feel like even though they're going to put it in as many screens as possible, the 3-hour runtime is going to steer some people away out of the gate, maybe some older people. And I do think with the premium ticket prices, IMAX, RPX, some people will want to pay the extra money, some people won't. Some people may want to wait until after the opening weekend. It's going to be a darker Batman movie, not like Lego Batman certainly, but I don't even think kids will go because it seems so dark, but we'll have to see. But Batman is just 9 days away. Starting Tuesday, March 1 with the IMAX, other showings on Wednesday, March 2, and then the regular showings Thursday, March 3rd at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So they want, Warner Brothers wants as much money as possible because this is the first exclusive theatrical Warner Brothers release in quite some time. If you remember, all last year, all the movies were simultaneous on HBO Max, plus Wonder Woman 1984, Christmas 2020. So I think this is the first Warner Brothers sole theatrical release since Tenet. I'd have to fully check that, but I believe that's correct. So it's been a year and a half. They want as much money as they can. Dune, their biggest movie of last year, only made $107 million domestically. That's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. So they want the money. And Batman, just 9 days away, and then that's going to carry for at least a couple weeks. Yeah, if you look at March and the theatrical schedule, it's some smaller movies, but Batman certainly dominates everything. Certainly the weekend of March 4th. March 11, there's no huge theatrical releases. March 18, there's a few smaller movies. Downton Abbey moved away from that time frame. And then March 25th, you have the Paramount comedy The Lost City, starring Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum. And then the very next week, April 1, is Morbius. So Batman's going to dominate for 3 weeks, maybe even the 4th if it makes more money than The Lost City, and then Morbius will come into play. But as this weekend has proven, if people want to go see these big movies, and I'm counting Dog as a big movie now. It did more than Death on the Nile did last weekend and several other films. If people are inspired to go to something, they will go. This weekend proved that. And families want to go to the movies right now. So I've been waiting to see if Paramount moves up Sonic at all, but it seems to me like they're sticking to April 8th. I would almost flip-flop that in The Lost City, but it might be too late. It might be a little too late to do that, but we'll have to see. So there you go. You'll have my reviews of some movies this week on the website and at 99.5 The River. I do the radio every week, 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time, 99.5 The River, and those segments go up on their website early on Friday. Too Fast, Two Films podcast as well, toofast2films.com, and more. We're going to have some analysis next Sunday for the Screen Actors Guild Awards, my predictions of who will win at the SAG Awards next Sunday, and hope you all enjoy the LCJ Movie Awards tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Thank you for watching LCJ Live. Have a good, safe week. Enjoy the week off if you have it, and I will see you next Sunday. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.